Good morning, everyone. I am Transparently D. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for your patience. I know I have not brought a video to you guys in a long time. I have not been transparent, have not kept you up to speed, but that's what I'm doing today. So here we go. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Transparently D, where I'm keeping it 100% transparent as we extend our family with love through CNY fertility. What's up, fam? How are you doing? How have you been doing? I guess you all say, no girl, how have you been doing? Because you've been off the map. I am so sorry about that. I have been off the map. I think the last video I made, I was like 12 weeks and some days or something. I am so sorry, but I'll bring you guys up to speed. Sorry, somebody's coming behind my car. I'll bring you guys up to speed with everything that I have going on. How are y'all doing? Man, I missed you guys so much. Thank you everyone for the comments and checking on me, and those who found me on Facebook and inboxed me and messaged me on Facebook. I am well. Now, I ain't been well over the last 12 weeks. The last 12 weeks have been rough. It's been really rough for me. Where do I start? It's hard for me to start because I forgot where I left off. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through it. So I think last time I spoke to you, we was talking about this long 3-hour doctor's appointment that we were supposed to go to. So we went to this 3-hour doctor's appointment, and they did a whole hour ultrasound on me. I got with the midwife, and the midwife was like, okay, everything is fine, everything looks good, nothing's really going on, we'll see you back in 4 weeks, whatever. So I left that hour. They drew blood, of course, and I moved on with the day. Swear to you, 3 days later, I'm bleeding everywhere. I mean, like bright red blood, and like I panic. It is like 4 o'clock in the morning. My husband doesn't get off from work until 5 a.m. So I called him and I'm like, listen, I'm gonna go to the hospital because I am bleeding, and it is bright red blood, and it's a lot of it, and I'm concerned. So I'm gonna go to the hospital. And so he was like, okay. But he had worked all night, so I didn't want him to come to the hospital and it be nothing, you know. So I'm like, we had just gone to the doctor 3 days ago, so I just figured that it was a subchorionic hemorrhage, but I just wanted to get it checked. So I told him to go home and go to sleep, and then I will let him know what was going on. Well, of course, he came to the hospital. I was on the highway trying to get to the hospital that I was going to deliver to, but I could just feel it like coming out. So I just stopped at our level 1 trauma center and was checked in there. Now, if you guys remember from one of my other videos, I was contemplating on moving doctors, changing doctors, so that I can deliver with this level 1 trauma center. I went there. They did not even do an ultrasound to see what was going on. She did check me, and she said that I was 1 centimeter dilated, and she, you know, tried to clear out the blood or whatever, and she was like, she was saying it was coming from somewhere else, and then she cleaned it, and then she said, oh no, it's coming out of your cervix. I was like, okay. So that just lets me know that I'm bleeding from where the baby is. Somewhere in there I'm bleeding. Anyway, they didn't do anything. They told me make an appointment at the end of the month. The baby has a heartbeat, so make an appointment at the end of the month and come back and see us. And I was going to do that, but my spirit just didn't like sit well with what I was told. I just really just felt like there was something more that I needed to investigate to see what the heck was going on, because I know that this is out of the norm. So my husband went ahead and went to sleep. we left from there, and he went on and went to sleep or whatever. And I tried to just relax. I really did. At this time, I am 14 weeks gestation. I think I was 14 weeks gestation at this time. And so I called the doctors. I said, listen, you know, I'm bleeding. You know, they told me to go to the ER this morning. I went to the ER, but I just really don't feel like they did a really good, thorough check on me, you know. So she was like, well, you can come in to the office. But I think the office that they wanted me to go to was like far away, because they have like 3 offices. And so the office that they had an opening where I could be seen at is like over an hour away from me. And I was like, no, I'll just come in on another day. And so I said to her, I said, do you think I'll be okay to come in to see you another day? And she was like, honestly, I don't know. I really want, I said, well, what would you like for me to do? She said, I want you to go to the other office, because I need for you to get checked out to see what's going on. So long story short, I just drove over to the other office. Now, mind you, this is 3 days after they did a whole 1-hour ultrasound. I go in, they immediately take me to the back. I leave my urine sample. They do it just like a whole appointment. I leave my urine sample, and the girl come get me to do the ultrasound. So now, when I go to the doctor's office or hospitals and stuff, I rarely tell people that I'm a nurse, because we get treated differently. I'm gonna just be honest with you. When they know that you're a healthcare professional, they treat you with respect. It's camaraderie. They just do. So I rarely tell people that I'm a nurse, because I want to be treated like anybody else would be treated. So she's doing the ultrasound, and she's taking the pictures, and the baby is not cooperating at all. She is turned to my back, and her whole body is turned like to the back of me. So like you can see her spine and her buttocks and the back of her head and stuff, but she would not turn over for nothing. I am watching the screen. Okay, so I'm looking at the screen, and then I see her type previa. So I said, wait a minute, I have a placenta previa? She immediately started like backtracking, and she was like, oh, well, I don't know. You have to talk to the midwives. You have to talk to the doctors. I don't know. Because really, she can't tell me. She can't give me any information that she sees. But it just so happened that she typed previa, and I'm a nurse. I know that previa. I know what a previa is, you know. And so I was like, well, I just had a whole hour-long ultrasound 3 days ago. And she said, I don't know, because this was a different lady now doing the ultrasound. Keep in mind, now this is a totally different lady. Okay, so I get in with the midwife, and it just so happens that I'm seeing the same midwife that I saw when they told me I didn't have a subchorionic hemorrhage, and I really did have a subchorionic hemorrhage. And this midwife had to rectify that, and she was like, well, yes, you do have a subchorionic hemorrhage, and, you know, kind of alerted me to what was going on with that. Well, then it just so happened that she was at this office on this day, and she was the midwife on. And so she's like, you have a complete placenta previa. However, you're only 14 weeks. So it's like putting a dot on the balloon, and then you blow the balloon up, the dot on the balloon, it moves. So the placenta still has an opportunity to move. If it does not move, then you're going to have a C-section, because you can't, you know, push the baby through the placenta. So for those who don't know what a complete placenta previa is, that means that my placenta has implanted directly over the top of my cervix. Which means my cervix, a complete placenta previa, is my entire cervix is covered by my placenta. So there's no way to get the baby out without delivering the life support for the baby first. And that you just can't do that. That's just, there's no way that you can do that. So of course I was upset. I called Steven, and he was half asleep, but he was talking to her or whatever. I was very upset because you all know I do not want to have a cesarean section. I don't. But it is what it is. If I had to have a C-section to get her out, I mean, she can't stay in. She got to come out. Right? Right. Okay, so we get past that, and I'm just, oh, I was sick. Oh, girl. Friends. Family. I was sick as a dog. I ain't lying. I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't feel like getting up. I didn't feel like putting on no clothes. And remember, I told y'all I was going to do a video about how I wanted to present myself as a pregnant woman. I didn't want to like be coming out of the house with my hair not done, and you know, not having my makeup, and you know, I wanted to make sure that I was wearing maternity clothes because I didn't want to have regular clothes and my belly hanging all out and stuff like that. That's just like, that wasn't me. So I was going to do a video on that. And let me tell you something. When that morning sickness did hit, that thing hit. And I mean, it knocked me for a loop. I was sick as a dog. I have lost more weight than I have gained with this pregnancy. Like, I've lost so much weight with it. It was very concerning for them. So, and then every time I called the doctor's office, I'm like, I am sick to dog. Went in for my appointment. They gave me Zofran, the pill. So then when I got to the pharmacy, I didn't know it was a pill. When I got to the pharmacy, I'm upset because I'm like, why would you order me a pill when I'm telling you that I'm not holding anything down? Up until about a week ago, the last time I had eaten food and actually held it down was the week before Mother's Day. Now today is July 21st. So it had been that long. So I had been, you know, vomiting and sick that long. So so then she ordered me the Zofran ODT, which is the one that you put under your tongue and just let it dissolve. You don't have to swallow it. That didn't work. So then she said, instead of taking 4 milligrams, take 8 milligrams. So that's 2 of them. One working. Then she gave me Finnegan suppositories. That worked, but it's a class C. And the medication goes through the placenta. And I just didn't want to like give that to my baby. You know, I didn't want to give, because Finnegan is a narcotic. I did not want to give the narcotic to the baby. So I was like, forget it out. So I started feeling better like 3 days later after taking the Finnegan. And then I was like, no, I don't want to give her that. So I stopped taking that. Got right back sick again. So then the doctor gave me Reglan. And to try and help. It helped some, but not really. I was still very, 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 very sick, and nauseous. This is probably like the second week, maybe first or second week, that I have not been as sick as I was prior to. So what else happened? I would wake up and my hands would be totally numb. I know you guys are like, what the heck you got on your hands? Well, I developed pregnancy-induced carpal tunnel bilaterally. So I have developed carpal tunnel, pregnancy-related carpal tunnel in both of my hands. This normally wouldn't be, you know, a big issue for me, but remember, I changed jobs. Changed my whole career path, and now I'm inside of an office building and I'm on the computer all day. Sorry y'all, it got dark because I'm in a tunnel, and it got dark. I'm sorry, and so I need my hands to type or whatever. So I have these braces and they do help. I'm supposed to sleep in them, but I don't. And I'm very rebellious with that. So the midwife told me to get these too, and they do help. Nothing else really is like going on too tough. My husband and I hit like a spat in the road, and it was kind of frightening a little bit. You know, I was really just thinking, you know, I was gonna be doing this by myself. I know he's not a quitter, but I mean, it's just tough for him because he's never had a kid before. He's never had someone pregnant before, so he had no idea what to anticipate. He is deathly afraid because we've had so many complications with this pregnancy, and he don't want to lose me, and he don't want to lose the baby, but if he has to choose, he'll choose me over the baby. And my view was, if something happens and you have to make a choice, you need to save our daughter. I've lived my life. I've been here. You know, I'm getting teary-eyed, you know, thinking about that, because they was telling us, oh, she could bleed to death, oh, she could die, and all this other stuff. And it was very frightening for him, you know. And I was like, listen, if push comes to shove and you have to make a decision, you need to choose to save our daughter. Give her the opportunity to live and experience life. You know, I've experienced life. And then he's like, that doesn't make sense to me, Donna. You know, we can have another baby, I can't get another you know, kind of thing. And so we was just at odds with that, and I understood where he was coming from, but it was just hard for me because as a mom, I just want to protect my kid, you know. And if that means I have to take, if it costs me my life, I'm gonna take care of my kid. I will give my life for my children. I'll kill a dead stump about either one of them. Hence me changing my entire career, because I knew I didn't want to put my baby in a daycare. So I decided to switch my whole entire career to ensure that I could be home and I could take care of her. So now I can work from home. I'm not working from home yet. I'm actually on my way to work, but I have that option when I'm ready to go home and work from home, and I can have her there with me. So, you know, I've been battling from the beginning. I've been battling from the beginning on if I wanted to change doctors. So we had an appointment at 8 o'clock in the morning. I had to leave my house at 6 to get to the doctor's office, and I still got there at 8:15. So my whole thing was, if I am in labor and I am stuck in Atlanta traffic, which I'm stuck in Atlanta traffic right now, what do I do? Do I have a baby on the highway, you know? Or like, what do I do if we're stuck in traffic, you know? And so I asked them that, and they really couldn't give me a definitive answer to that, you know. So on last week, oops, sorry y'all. So on last week, I asked them for my records, and I went and picked up all of my records. They hadn't taken me out of their system yet because the other office had to accept me before they could take me out. Because if they didn't accept me, then I would stay with them. And then yesterday, I got a phone call while I was at work, and she was like, "Hi, Donna, I'm just calling to set your appointment, your first OB appointment with us. Call me back." So I didn't know if it was the old doctor or the new one, but it was the new one, and they accepted me, which I knew they would because they were already my OB, my GYN prior to. But they still have to review everything to make sure everything is good before they accept me into their practice, especially since I'm this far along. I haven't talked to you guys about that. So today is July 21st, Wednesday, July 21st, 2019, and I am 24 weeks and 6 days. I will be 25 weeks on tomorrow. and they accepted me. So I have my first appointment with them on August 2nd or something with them, which I'm excited about that. I'll probably do the glucose test that day as well, because I was supposed to go on the 15th to the old doctor and do the glucose test. So I haven't done speaking of glucose, I have had other issues going on. My sugar drops into like the 40s, 60s, 70s. My sugar just plummets, and I get sick as a dog. I be very lethargic, very weak. I have, so I have been fighting with hypoglycemia and trying to keep my sugar up. And I eat, but it just does not stay up at all. So I have been dealing with that. So I'm doing a glucose test probably on that appointment, because I'm not diabetic. I'm kind of the opposite of diabetes. So hypoglycemia is when the sugar is too low. Hyperglycemia is when it's too high. When it's too high, then that's when you're diabetic. So what's been going on with the baby? She moves so much. She moves all the time. The other night before last night, she woke me up at probably 2:30 in the morning, and she did not go to sleep until 6 a.m. Mind you, I had a doctor's appointment at 8. There's so much going on. Okay, so I was having chest pain, shortness of breath, so they had the monitor on me, and I had to wear the monitor for the weekend, and then I took the monitor back on Monday, and I was supposed to get an echocardiogram, which is a sonogram of the heart, because we want to make sure that my heart is strong enough for me to go through labor. So I had an appointment at 8 o'clock that morning. She didn't go to sleep until 6 o'clock in the morning. So I missed that whole appointment. Just missed it because I was super sleepy and tired. So now I got to reschedule that as well. I'm glad I'm talking to y'all, because now it's reminding me of what I need to do. But other than that, she moves a lot. She's very stubborn. When she does the ultrasounds, I don't care if I drink orange juice or if I eat or whatever the situation may be, this girl do not turn around. The lady was shaking her and buzzing her and everything. That girl will not move, period. She wouldn't let them see her face. So when I went to my 20-week ultrasound for them to measure her, do the anatomy scan, she stretched out her leg one time for them to measure one leg, and that was it. She would not let them measure her stomach. She wouldn't turn around. She just wouldn't. So she's been very stubborn. But other than that, she moves around. She is fully developed. No issues going on with her whatsoever. She be chilling. I'm the one that'll be sick as a dog. Either my sugar low or I'm throwing up. So the sugar could be low because I have been throwing up everything that I eat. So that's very plausible as well. But now that I'm eating more, I'm hoping that it starts to come back up. So my next appointment is August 2nd at the new doctor. And I do like the new job. It's real laid back. I really don't do much. Don't do nothing. Ready to just get home and be working from home and not have to drive in Atlanta traffic. Then that'll make me happy. So I just wanted to bring you guys up to speed and let you guys know what was going on. Thank you so much for joining me in this journey. I do appreciate your continued support of us as we bring this baby into this world. We still have 2 embryos left. I do not know if I'm going to transfer them in, but that'll be a whole nother video. Right now, I need you guys to keep your faith on fleek. Keep us in prayer, because that's what we need the most. But in the meantime, you know how we do it. Always strive to be on top, because the bottom is already too crowded.